This is still the conversation. Now let's switch gears to Rwanda, where President Paul Kagame on Thursday said that it will allow Africans to travel visa-free to the country, becoming the latest nation on the continent to announce such a measure aimed at boosting the free movement of people and trade to rival Europe's Schengen zone. Now, President Paul Kagame made the announcement in Rwanda's capital, Kigali, where he pitched the potential of Africa as a unified tourist destination for a continent that still relies on 60% of its tourists from outside the continent, according to data from the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Of course, joining me right now on the show is Honorable John Rusimbi, President, Pan-African Writers Association, PAWA, all the way from Rwanda. And also with John is Izabiriza, Moise, Public Affairs Analyst, also from Kigali, Rwanda. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. Okay, great. Let me start with you, John. I mean, the Rwandan government has announced the free movement of Africans and trade across its borders. What are the immediate implications, of this particular announcement?
Yes, first of all, it promotes intra-African trade. Africans are more able to trade amongst themselves. There has always been a problem of imbalances in trade between Africa and the West, and more trade between Africans and the Western countries than trade among Africans themselves. And this has affected the rate of development among the Africans. Slow development rates because they cannot trade among themselves. So free movement of people within the Africa will promote trade amongst themselves. That's the most important thing.
All right. I would like to go to you, Moise. Moise, you are actually a creative visual artist. Now, the aim, according to the president, is to boost tourism and also make the continent the biggest tourist hub. Even though, a bulk of these tourists, according to a report, come from outside Africa. How workable is this particular initiative?
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, I'm honored to be on this conversation. As an artist, for me, I think it's a great thing because it's going to allow us to study different cultures from different countries of Africa, and also it's going also to boost tourism as an artist who reflect the time and who work on the history, who also present the country in a form of creative way. I think it's huge impact, and it's gonna allow us also to collaborate with another fellow Africans from different countries, and also to in a business side also to do partnership with the other fellow artists. And the other good thing also, as especially young entrepreneurs, it's an open door for us also to learn from the other young African entrepreneurs, and also to do partnership, as I mentioned.
All right.
It's a great thing for me. And
okay, great. I mean, I would like to stay with you. How would you describe the, will I call it, tourism climate right now in Rwanda? I mean, before this particular announcement, you are a creative, you're an artist, you, of course, network with people, you meet people and all of that. How has the market been for you?
It's been great. It's been great. I'm talking about Visit Rwanda. Visit Rwanda also allows us to meet different people from different parts of Africa and also different parts of the world. And as an artist, for me, I always describe myself. I represent the culture and belief of Africa on international level. So it allows me to show the world, like as an African, as Rwandan, like to open the door for them to understand our culture, to understand our belief and traditions. And on the business side also, it's going well because we'll be able to sell our artworks, we'll be able to exhibit our artwork on international galleries from different parts of the world. So, and it's put us on international level. So, for me, I'm so happy for this, and the more happy that we open door for the other Africans just to come to our country, to invest in our country, to for me, I think it's also the door of diversity and puts African
on the global map
direction.
Okay, great. I would come back to you, Moise. I want to go back to, of course, Honorable Rusimbi. Now, let's talk about the security situation and also the level of infrastructural development in Rwanda. Would you say Rwanda has what it takes, and also in terms of the security enablement to contain such an influx of people once this particular policy, gets into motion?
Currently, Rwanda is the most peaceful country, I think, in the world, because this is a country where you can travel during the night 24 hours and you will not have a problem. This is a country where if you reach at the airport and you forget something at the airport, the migration officers will follow you up and give you what you've left behind. This is a country where actually rate of crime has been actually curbed and reduced to a very, very low rate. This is a country where security is actually there for everybody. And the influx of people from other African countries would not challenge any security measures at all. And again, these visa-free restrictions, this lifting of restrictions on visa will also promote tourism among Africans. There are many Africans who would like to visit fellow African countries. I was recently in a trade fair in Algeria, and everyone was asking me how they can come to Rwanda and look at the beautiful city, look at the tourist sites, the gorillas, and so on. By the way, to inform you, Rwanda has always been, even before this announcement, Rwanda has always been very flexible on people coming into the country, both Africans and Europeans. So they have been coming, they have been applying for their visa online, and they get it immediately. So this has improved the tourism in Rwanda, and so far it's the largest foreign exchange sector. Tourism sector is the largest foreign exchange for now. So be assured that the influx of people from other African countries will not at all challenge any security measure that has been there.
I would like to, of course, direct the question to Moise. Moise, what's your take? Moise, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So I would like to direct the question to you. Do you think Rwanda has the capacity in terms of security and infrastructure to, accommodate the influx of people once this policy gets into motion?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, because there's a security here, as there's a security which allow the investor to invest here without hesitate, and also as the tourism is the tourism is really growing up, um, um, and I'm happy that it's really open also the door for the, as I mentioned, for the young entrepreneurs to collaborate with other fellow entrepreneurs from the other country of Africa. I think Honorable has said a lot about that.
Okay. Now, I would like to still stay with you, Moise. Now, you, of course, as a creative, you have your own, will I call it, challenges in terms of carrying out your business. What do you think the government needs to do locally to sort of sync or synchronize with this particular policy for, some sort of enhance a mutual benefit?
I think for me, it's to keep creating like more art institution. Here I'm talking about the galleries, art centers that can gather together the artists, and so that it can be easy for tourists and the other African fellows, especially artists, just to come and to see the artists together and also to collaborate together and also to do exchanges. Yeah, I think also that'll be good. It's there, but I can say it's work in progress.
Okay.
If they can also have more, if we can have more art institutions.
Art institutes, that would really help.
It's going to be positive impact to
okay.
Okay,
I would like to go to Honorable, of course, John. Now, what would you say the government also can do? Because I understand that, of course, you are the president of the Pan-African Writers Association. What can the government do locally to encourage writers, creative writers like yourselves and people within your association to further sort of create a synergy between this particular policy and, of course, what your association and, of course, creatives like yourself do?
Thank you. But before I come to that, I think on the earlier question, I wanted to add that on the issue of infrastructure, Rwanda has actually promoted initiatives to build hotels. More hotels have been built by the private sector, and actually more apartments, residential apartments have also been constructed, and this will accommodate more people who need accommodation and food. Maybe as more people come in, the private sector will also be challenged to build even more hotels and residential houses, apartments. This in terms of roads, I think the government has actually been trying to build roads. If you come to Rwanda, many roads are now okay. Especially main roads. They have also encouraged residents to contribute to the roads, to the small roads coming into their residencies. So on infrastructure, actually, the government is doing a lot.
On what scale? On what scale? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you say the level of infrastructure and security in Rwanda, falls on the scale?
I'd put it at 8.
On both sides,
8.
security and infrastructure.
No, security, I would put it at 9.
Wow.
And security would be at 9, and infrastructure at 8.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Out of 10.
Okay, great. So go ahead. You were about
Out
to, of course,
yes.
give reasons or some of the things, areas you feel the government should improve.
Coming to my own sector, the writing sector, where a lot needs to be done to improve that sector. One, we need writing residencies, what I can call writing residencies, to be supported by the government and other institutions, where more writers can be trained to write more professionally, where publishers could be trained to be more professional, so that this sector becomes competitive. And I think there's a lot to be improved in that sector.
All right. Just quickly, I would go back to security. And of course, I would stay with you, John. What do you think the government needs to do? Because one of the reasons why you have some of these restrictions is also to sort of screen or vet the kinds of persons or the kind of persons coming into the country to ensure that they themselves are not security threat to the internal security of the country. So how do you think the government can ensure that at the end of the day, when it runs an open door, sort of a border policy, how does it ensure that at the end of the day, criminals, terrorists, people with, of course, evil intent don't find their way into the country and threaten the security of the state?
Rwanda's security measures are really very high, and paying for visa is not in itself a security measure. It's not, because terrorists can pay. So there are other ways to track people coming into the country, just as there are ways to track the residents themselves, because it's not people that come out of the country that can only impose a threat to security. Even the people within Rwanda can can be a security threat if they are not tracked, if there are no ways to track criminals, if there are no ways to track people who threaten security of the country. There are many ways the country is using technology, skilled personnel in terms of the intelligence and so on. So there are many security measures that Rwanda has employed, which anyway, some of which we do not know ourselves, but we can always see the results when criminals are being tracked, apprehended, and being brought to account. So we are not worried about that.
All right.